All right, we're recording. Good evening. Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. I am so excited for tonight. It's a concept that actually was brought to my attention by Charlie, my fiance. He was the one who said, "Oh my gosh, you have to listen to this podcast, this Tony Robbins podcast, and listen to this concept of R.P.M." And so I'm going to dive in because it's good content. And I think it's super applicable. The last couple of weeks, we have been really digging into social media, how we can brand ourselves better and how we can communicate our story and our vision and our mission and our hearts on social media just a little bit better. And so I kind of wanted to get away from just talking about posting on social media. I felt like I was kind of getting stuck in a loop with that. And I hope that all of that has been super helpful for you guys in that journey. But tonight, I want to really get into like the behaviors and the to-do list and all that stuff that goes along with Beachbody, but I kind of want to reverse engineer how we approach that. So I'm going to share my screen. And I got a PowerPoint. If you can't see the PowerPoint right now, no worries, guys. This will be on Inspire Beauty's resource page tomorrow. And I'm going to go into presentation mode. I have a timer going right now, guys, so that I can be like on it. So tonight we're talking about RPM, and in a second you will understand what RPM stands for. It is not the kind of RPM in your car, but this RPM is going to shift the way you focus when you sit down to work and help you to maximize your results. And it is my heart, you guys, that this doesn't just pour into your Beachbody business, but this, guys, could shift the way you approach every component of your life, from the way you coach to the way you run your groups, to the way you talk to your challengers, to the way that you work in your 9-to-5 job, to the way that you work and talk with your friends and your family. I really believe that this is something applicable beyond just the walls of our Beachbody business. So before we even start, guys, I want you, and I'm actually going to escape from this real quick so that I can see your answers. But right now, I know I've never asked you this before, but I'm asking you a question right off the bat, and I want you to type it in the chat for me. What are your outcomes for tonight? And I want you to think about that real quick. It doesn't have to be like a crazy answer, but why did you get on this Zoom tonight? What are you hoping to get out of tonight? Even just with a little blurb, and I'll talk while you type that in. But I know I just gave you a little blurb about what tonight was going to be about. So there's only a little bit of info, you know. So what compelled you to get on tonight's call? Why? What's the reason? What outcome are you looking for after these 30 minutes to 40 minutes are up together? And I want you to go ahead and type that in the chat. And I'm going to open my chat box so that I can see. While you're typing, I'll tell you what my outcome is. Tonight, guys, I want to inspire you to take action, but to take action towards towards what you truly desire in this business, and to take action towards not just what you desire, but why you desire doing it. Okay, so Nicole said she's on here tonight because she wants to refocus on her business and educate herself so she can help others. Awesome. I think that that's a really common reason for getting onto a Zoom, is we want to educate ourselves on our business and how we can be better, right? Chelsea says she's still very new at the business, so she's very excited to hear how she can develop her business and the mentality she can take. And Chelsea, tonight, new coach, old veteran coach, anywhere in between, it's so relevant tonight, okay? So you will get nuggets out of this. Sometimes there are Zooms where it's like, if you're new, it might be a little overwhelming. Tonight, I don't believe that, so I think this should be exciting. Jessica said, I would like to get out of tonight education, a push to be the best me, also very new and would love to take pointers and apply them. Absolutely. Okay, oh, Brittany, real quick. I want to be able to bring myself back into Beachbody. I fell off the radar for a while. I need to keep myself more accountable. Y'all, I can't tell you how many times I have fallen off my radar and had to pull myself back into my Beachbody business. It happens to the best of us. So I love that you're back, Britt. Okay, I clicked out of that. Ooh, there is one more though. Hold on, Michelle. I didn't even look to see what tonight's theme was. I just know that Monday at 6 is Zoom time. And you know what though? I love that you said that, honestly, because when I started my business, I didn't know left from right, you guys. I just knew that I was supposed to be on my team Zooms because I knew that the more I plugged into them, the more I would be able to learn and grow and take away. And I knew that that's what my coach told me to do. So by golly, I did it. Rebecca, I want to get my head in the right space so I can focus on my goals and communication. Absolutely. And plugging into your team, guys, is a surefire way to get your headspace in that right place. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. So I love that. I've never really asked you guys that before. And I really am interested, like, why do you get on these Zooms? It's a good tool for me to ask you. But typically when we're talking about our daily to-do list, or we're talking about, coaching, or if you're in Rock the Basics or Emerald Daily right now, the first question we tend to ask ourselves when we sit down to work is, what do I need to do? And this is everyone. This is society, right? But it's not really the right question to ask first, okay? Because the answer is going to be based on whatever is most pressing at that moment in your life. So, for example, if you are feeling very overwhelmed by your to-do list or all the things you have to do, or just this business in general, the answer might be really painful. It might feel painful to sit down and even know what to do because you're overwhelmed. Maybe what you need to do is something that you've been wanting to do for a while, right? Like you really wanted, like you're getting ready to start up your first free group or challenge group, or you just joined this business, and so you really want to learn. So this could be pleasurable for you. And sometimes when we sit down to think about what we need to do, we have our vision in mind, but unfortunately, that's not all the time, right? And so where we want to get to is a place where when we're working on our business, that we have a vision in mind. Guys, your to-do list will never be over. I tell Charlie this every day because he's always like, I have so much work to do. I go, when are you not going to have so much work to do? Like, that's something that I'm always on his case about, because your to-do list, guys, the things you have to do will never be over. As a teacher, I felt this way big time, because it was like, am I ever going to grade all the papers I have to grade? Am I ever going to get, like my lesson planning done? And once I got my lesson planning done, then there were more grades to grade. Or once I got everything graded and filed, I had to make more lesson plans. And it was like this vicious cycle. And the same thing happens in my Beachbody business. Just when I sign some new coaches after a sneak peek, we start a fresh month and we got to start team trainings over again. And then I got to start a challenge group again. And then I got to start the free group again. And then I got to start promoting the coach sneak peek. And it's like, once I feel like one thing is done, there's always going to be something else. So it sometimes can feel like you're never actually achieving anything because you're in this like loop of what you just need to do. Guys, where we focus, that's where our energy is going to go. So where focus goes, energy flows. I want you to write that down. Where focus goes, energy flows. And I've been a little, I don't want to say harder on you guys, but I'm pushing you guys. And I hope you can feel that lately in my tone. And my tone is coming with a tone of excitement, not anger, totally different. But I want you to start really looking at what you're focusing on. Are you always focusing on the negative things? Well, your energy is going to be pretty negative, and your business is going to be negative, and your challenge groups are going to feel kind of negative and ucky, and everything's going to have a negative vibe to it because you're focusing on the lack mentality. Like, I don't have enough people in my group, or I don't know who to talk to, or nobody wants to join me. That's a lack mentality. And so your energy is going to be of lack. Yeah, you're right. Nobody will join you with that focus. But when you start focusing on, man, I have one person that I can help. This one person, I can change her life, right? Or, if you're focusing on the positive things, man, I hit Success Club 2 for the first time in my business. That's awesome. That's where your energy is going, is on the positive things, okay? So there's going to be 3 questions that we're going to ask. Rather than saying, what do I do? What do I need to do? We're going to stop that question asking, and we're going to reverse it with 3 questions that will ultimately get us to know what we need to do. But we're going to start here. So the first question you ask yourself is, what results do I want? When you sit down in the morning, if you have an hour of time set aside for your Beachbody business, whether it's the morning, your lunch break, maybe it's in the evening, maybe you have to separate it. When you sit down, the first thing you should ask yourself is, what results do I want today, or this week, or this month? That's where having your goals in place. Some of our coaches did a really great job this month of getting out of their comfort zones and writing their goals down for this business, because you know what? Now they have results in front of them. They can say, this month I wanted to hit SC5. So when I sit down, I need to work towards selling 3 challenge packs. That's going to get me to Success Club 5, right? Or I want to rank advanced to Emerald. Well, that means you have to have a coach on your left and a coach on your right. So when you sit down, guys, you know that that's the result you want. So rather than just grabbing at stuff on a to-do list, instead you're saying, this is what I want. And so your behaviors, your to-do list can reflect that. Guys, clarity is power, okay? So some of our challengers, and you might have been victim to this yourself, you might still be victim to this. I know I am in some areas of my life where I'm a little vague about what I want, right? And so I get women a lot that'll say, oh, I want to lose some weight this month. So when they lose 1 pound, are you satisfied? Like, are you good? You lost some weight, right? But that's not really what they wanted. So they got to get specific. I want to lose 15 pounds, because when they get 15 pounds off of them, there's going to be a feeling behind that, right? Just that 1 pound or that half a pound, that's some weight, but that didn't produce what they really wanted. Okay. So what do you really want? It's a serious, powerful question that I'm asking you tonight. And so I want that to kind of be in your mind right now as we're going through this. Be clear and specific, guys. Write down your outcomes first, not your activities. You will write down your activities. There will be a time in your life at some point tonight in our Zoom where the activities, the actions are going to need to be written down. But the first thing that you should have in front of you every single day is your outcome, what you want to produce. So if you didn't spend a couple of minutes at the end of May creating goals for June, is it too late? No, not at all. It's what, June? I don't even know. June 12th, guys. It's June 12th. We're almost halfway through the month. So for the last half of the month, the last 2.5 weeks, what do you really want? What do you really want to do with the last 2.5 weeks of the month? And that is going to focus you on the actions that you need to do. But the actions, guys, will not lead to achievement. The actions are, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The actions do not equal achievement. Just because you act doesn't mean you will achieve. Because if you are just throwing darts in random places, then you're not going to hit your goal, right? So in order to hit your goal, your action has to be aligned to whatever you want the outcome to be. Question number 2. It's a big one, guys. What is my purpose? So when you sit down to work, you guys, you know what you want to do, okay? And I'm using Beachbody goals and targets as a place and a space for us. But in a second, I'm going to break this down into actually what I wrote out for myself to help guide you. But I'm going to continue to go back to Success Club and Emerald, because those are some of the very first crucial benchmarks as a coach when you're working your business. Okay. So I'm going to use those and running groups as kind of our benchmarks. But if your results, what you really want to do this month is you want to hit Success Club 5. Okay. Why? What is your purpose for doing that? Do you know why you want to hit Success Club 5? Well, I was told I should hit that. You know what? That's not going to be enough emotional juice to keep you going when things don't work out. So my question is, do you have enough emotional juice in your system so that when things don't work out, you don't quit? The thing is, it comes down to our why. And your why evolves. So the why that I had on the day that I signed up for Beachbody is very different than the why that I have today. And it's okay, but you must have a purpose. So that the why can evolve. Today, your why might be centered on just one small little thing that's like stuck on your heart, right? A cry of your heart. Maybe that's your why. But guys, maybe a year from now, your why changes. Okay, and we don't know what's going to happen, but you have to have a purpose, because the purpose, you guys, will keep you going when things get tough. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but y'all know I like to keep it real with you. They will. Things are going to get tough. This is a roller coaster you are on, guys. Being an entrepreneur, being a CEO of your own business, running a network marketing business, guys, to be successful, it is a roller coaster. There are days where you are on top of that mountain and you feel like no one can stop you. And then there's days where it's really, really hard to show up for your business because you just feel like you're not making a difference. Okay? And I've been there. I've been on that roller coaster on every single part of it. But the reason that I've never quit is that my why is really, really big. And I will talk to you about my why in a second. But every person that you see who is on fire and successful, guys, I guarantee you knows why. what their real true root of the why is. So I ask you, is your why active? When is the last time you wrote it out? For me, the last time I had really written out my why was in January. When the new year hit, I wrote out a brand new why for 2017. Well, today when I was pulling it out and I was uploading it into here that you'll see in a second, I realized, you know what, that's not as active as it could be. That's not as relevant as it could be today, because my why has shifted a little in the last 6 months. It's still very similar, but there were a couple things I needed to add and a couple word choices I wanted to change. And so when's the last time you wrote out your why? Maybe it was the day you sign up as a coach, because that is a question I ask you in that first email I send you, or your upline sends you. One of the first questions is, why did you sign up to be a Beachbody coach? And you probably have your answer from that day of what was so exciting, like what purpose you had behind that. And maybe you just signed up, and so that's still your why. Awesome. But if you haven't written out a why since the day you responded to that email, I encourage you to dig into why you are here tonight. Why are you a Beachbody coach? What is your purpose? And you can be like, I encourage you to be bold and big with this. 80% of your success, guys, is your why, and 20% is the how. The how will come. You'll figure it out, but your why has to be big enough, because if your why is big enough, you'll figure out how to make it happen. That's that resourcefulness that we've kind of been talking about. I talked about the other day in my post when I was sharing with you guys on the team page about how much money I earned in the beginning, and that it was because I wasn't running challenge groups, and that nobody taught me how to run a challenge group. I simply had to get resourceful. My why was big enough. I wanted to help people. I wanted to get out of debt. I wanted to have this side hustle that just was completely new and different for me. I wanted to be successful at that. And because I wanted to be successful so bad, I figured out how to do it. But if your why is not big enough, you're not going to figure out how. You're always going to blame your upline, or you're always going to have an excuse for, why the timing's not right or whatever, right? But your why is what will fuel the how. Guys, it doesn't matter who you are, what your why is, where you are in this business. We all on this planet, it doesn't even matter if you're not a Beachbody coach. On this planet, we all want to feel significant and feel like we're contributing. So what is your purpose? What are you contributing towards? And I want you to dig deeper. I'm going to say it before I move to the next slide. Dig deeper, please, than you want to help people, okay? Because that is what we do, but that's not why we're doing it, okay? So the next question, your third and final question, is what is my massive action plan? So this is similar to what do I do? What do I need to do, right? So your first question, guys, was what results do I want? What do I want to get out of this? What's my outcome, right? The second question was, what is my purpose? Why am I doing this? And then your last question is, what is my massive action plan, or your map to success? It's how you get from where you are right now to where you want to be. It's where your vision comes into play. And so this is where you get to ask yourself, what do I need to do? And I don't want you to just give me a few items. Like, man, I want you to brainstorm every single stinking thing that you should do or possibly do to get to your results, to get to your outcome, to get to what you really want, right? And so you can decide once you brainstorm like a million thoughts, right? Because the first few that you have, they're going to be your basic few, right? They're going to be very generic and basic and easy to come up with. But when you brainstorm and you dig and you dig and you dig, that's when creativity really starts to come in. I used to do that with my students. I would make them brainstorm lists. Like I'd say, okay, I want you to name 100 things that are red. Now, and I'd set a time, I'd say there's no time limit, like just go 100 things that are red. And you would see the kids go, bam, and they'd write like the first 10 things and they felt really great. And then you started to see them scratching their heads like, okay, I can't think of anything else. But then do you know that 1 through 10 typically were the same things from student to student to student. But after 1 through 10, all of a sudden you start to get some really creative ideas and unique ideas that other students didn't think of. And so when you start to brainstorm beyond just those first few, guys, that's when you have some creative energy behind it. And then you can decide which ones hold the most power and you can order those, right? Okay, I know that inviting 3 people is holding a lot of power towards hitting Success Club 5. So I can't put inviting 3 people at the bottom of my massive action plan. I've got to put that at the top, because I know that even though it's scary, even though it's out of my comfort zone, even though I'm, totally uncomfortable, I know that holds power. That to-do item holds power, so I have to do it. right? And then you can chunk them into categories. So let's try it, okay? I am going to turn my rice off real quick as I move to this. Just kidding. It didn't even need to stop yet. Okay, but I was panicking. All right, so first thing is you're gonna write out what you really want to do, okay? And I gave you an example from my heart, me. This is not just a generic example, guys. This is what I really want, okay? So I know you can read, but I'm gonna read you what I really want to do in 2017. So I wanna mentor 10 coaches to advance to Emerald in 2017. I wanna mentor 5 coaches to advance to Diamond in 2017. I want to grow Inspire Beauty into an elite top 100 team. I want to support 200 women on their self-care journey in 2017 through challenge groups. And I want to provide free inspiration to my lifer, and that's a daily behavior every single day, okay? That's what I really want to do. Why do you want to do that, Britt? So this was my why, and remember, I kind of rewired it tonight because I hadn't looked at it since January. I mean, I look at it all the time, but I hadn't looked at it with a lens of, is that what I really want? And so why do I want to do this? I want to create a life inspired by beauty, faith, and fulfillment. I want to be able to give boldly. I want to provide a beautiful life for my family, currently as Charles and Frankie, and hopefully one day some little ones. I want to live in a home we can build with love and grace and travel the world together. I want a tribe of women who also create and achieve a life of their design. So that's you guys. I want you guys to be able to achieve your wildest dreams. And I want to be able to sit back and be like, holy shit, she did it. And I want to be the first to cheer you on. I want to feel as though I've made a positive difference on this planet in a massive way. And guys, I may be morbid in my thinking, more morbid than others, but I tend to be on the side where I think about the time I have on this planet and that maybe I don't have a full life. Like, what if I died today, right? And I think about that. That's just kind of the way I'm wired. And so I think about that a lot. And what if I'm not around a year from now? Would I have made a positive difference on this planet in a massive way? And I want to do that, okay? So what is my massive action as a coach? So I wrote down, guys, now this is not 100 things. I would run out of space. I was looking at the font size and my old eyes were having a hard time reading it, if I can be honest with you. But this is just brushing the surface, okay? And some of it I try to compile as like a grouping, okay? So self-care, I grouped it. Workout, shake, personal development, social media posts, 3 to 5. This is a day. Challenge group check-ins, commenting on their posts, messaging people, sending emails. Challenge group content. What's my theme? What are the posts? What pictures do I use? Emails that I send out, meal planners that I create for it. Inspire Beauty check-ins and posts. One-on-one check-ins, text, Zooms, emails, daily power hour, blog for me is 4 times per week. Newsletter. For me, I send it out on Tuesdays. Guys, again, this is my massive action as a coach for me. So I'm not sitting here saying tonight, you need to write a newsletter, but going back to my results, what I really want, this aligns with it. Now, is my newsletter on my very top of my list? No, because the top of my list, guys, is my team. If you notice, if we go back, my team, you guys, the ones I'm talking to right now, you guys get the first 3 spots of what I really want to do. I don't know if you noticed that, but the first 3 slots are for you. I want this for you. And then I want to support other women to just fall in love with themselves through a self-care journey. And because I know not every woman can join Inspire Beauty and can join our challenge groups, because I get that, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, I still want to be able to provide inspiration every day to my lifer. So notice that providing free inspiration is the last thing. So my newsletter, obviously this is not in proper order. I'm just brainstorming and brain dumping. But when I go back later to chunk it together, right? Like chunk things together that would help my coaches go Emerald, chunk things together that would help coaches go Diamond, chunk things together that would help, 200 women on their self-care journey this year, right? And so I'd chunk those things together. And so the newsletter, it would chunk with the free part, right? So keep in mind, guys, that this is just massive brain dump, and this is something that I can use to get to my result, but it might not be the most important, right? Daily Facebook Live to offer connections so people can hear my heart, see my face. Free groups, 5 days each month. Coach opportunity events, sneak peek, biz calls, Facebook Live, weekly team Zoom calls, planning them, content prep, delivering them, sharing them with you guys post Zoom. Daily professional growth. So not just personal development on my mindset, but professional development too, where I'm learning how to be a better coach. Like, how do I run challenge groups better? How do I be a better leader? Things like that. Planning out my day, my week, my month, my year, and goal setting, and attending live events. That's just the tip of the iceberg of my massive action. But I wanted to show you kind of what that process looked like. So your call to action, and I've been like drawing all over my PowerPoints, and I don't know if you can see that, but my call to action, I'm going to post this in the team page. But after tonight, I want you to answer those first 2 questions of the process on the team page. And I want you to be bold, guys, when you hit send, and not care like what's somebody gonna think, or is this, or should I really want this? Guys, when I got on here tonight and I told you what I really want in this business and why I want that, I didn't ask for your permission. I'm not apologizing for anything that I want, because it's me, right? Like, that's what I really want. And so I want you to remove fear. Inspire Beauty is a safe place to post this stuff, but I'm going to put up this call to action after we're all done, so that you can answer this on the team page of what you really want and what is your purpose, right? Why do you want that? Those are the 2 questions I want to hear from. And if you haven't explored your why lately, this is a great opportunity now to do that, right? So I'm going to stop the share. And I'm going to open it up, you guys. Let's see. Stay with free. Guys, I did it. I'm so freaking proud of myself. I had my stopwatch going. I did not go over. Okay, I'm going to unmute you guys so that I can open it up if you have any questions. / comments.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for
it. Is there a good like self-help starter book you can recommend?
Self-help starter book. Okay. Yes. Freaking Frankie, man. Does anybody want a dog first before I recommend any books? I'm sending him in the mail. He's coming. Okay. So my first question, Rebecca, would be, what area do you want to grow? Which might be
maybe,
a question.
Maybe in the area of like more confidence in dealing with people, like in sort of a customer service way, or more of in a social way.
Let me just. Frankie, stop. Give it a rest. Yes. Okay, sorry about that. So you are a badass. You are a badass is a really great one for confidence. Be That Girl is also a really great one in terms of like empowering women. When you're talking about more like customer service sorts of things and how to talk to people, I would have to, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. I would have to research that a bit more for you. Does anybody have anything? Customer service, like how you would relate and talk to people?
There was what was it? It was one of the team trainings. They talked about Go Pro by Eric Force and how to rock your multi-level marketing or something like that. Yeah. It's on the first page is where I found those.
So for network marketing, that was Go Pro is one of the first books I ever read to learn like what network marketing was all about. And one that's good right now that's very brand new is called Get Over Your Damn Self, and it's also written for network marketers. And so those books are really great, I think, for imparting how do you do network marketing. Like network marketing, you guys, is not something you ever learn in school. Like none of us had to learn it. So yeah, like digging into books like that is really great.
Okay.
Any other questions? Guys, you can ask anything. It doesn't have to be about tonight. It could be about anything.
Okay, I can ask another one.
I love it. Go for it.
Is there something really simple I can start doing now to sort of prepare myself to coach others?
So the first thing that I do to coach others is I take care of myself. Number one, self-care. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're not actually on the journey, right? That's number one, because all my ahas, all my epiphanies, all my like, oh, I should tell them this, or I should say this, or I could relate with them about this, come through the journey, right? And so making sure that you're doing the journey, which you are, is number one. In terms of like resources on how to coach people like in challenge groups, you know, like what to say, we have in the resource page, and I'm not sure if I've plugged you into that yet, Rebecca, or not, but in the resource page, we have guides for the challenge groups, and Beachbody has them too. So like templates of what to post on day one or what to post, you know, throughout the journey. And so those help to guide you a little bit better. And then you can modify them to make it sound a little bit more like you. The way that I coach people, you guys included as a team, is truly through like my life experience, my heart, and just really where I tend to struggle, because I know if I'm struggling with something, somebody else must be also, right? And so kind of paving that journey through experience, you know? Does that make sense? Well, you guys, any other questions? Chelsea.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Brittany. The thing I'm struggling with personally is not coming off too strong, because obviously I'm personally going through this journey as well, but I want to share that with other people. But I'm like, feel like I'm walking a line being like, I don't want to shove the product in their face, but I want them to see what it is. So I'm not sure like where it's too much and when it's like not enough.
Yeah. And I struggle with that all the time, like feeling like I'm a little too much sometimes, and then feeling like I'm not enough, and like, where's that balance? And it's a fine dance. And the more you are posting, the more naturally it'll go. For me, I have a system throughout the month. And if you look at the team calendar, that's pinned to the top of our page, it shows when I, you know, host free groups, when I host my challenge group, and when I host the opportunity. And those progressions basically help guide me in what I'm saying, so that, yeah, month to month, I might kind of sound like a broken record if you really know my system, you know, which you guys are privy to, so you probably get it. The majority of people don't. But that way I'm not talking about, like, I'm not talking about my challenge group for 30 days of the month, you know?
Okay. Right.
I can talk about my journey for 30 days without pushing that in someone's face, because I can breadcrumb what it's about. You don't have to say, you know, hashtag Beachbody program, hashtag 21 day fix today. Like, you could just talk about your workout and how today it sucked, or just talk about, you know, your journey throughout, so that you're not always throwing the name in their face, right?
Okay.
Rather than saying I drank my Shakeology today, you know, you post your recipe, and I call it a superfood shake rather than calling it Shakeology. Like, sometimes I'll change up the way I say the name, right, to build just things like that. But also there's that fine balance of, I don't apologize, right? I don't want to apologize, because the reality is there are far worse things I could be sharing on Facebook and social media than trying to inspire others on this journey, right?
Right.
Chelsea, I've seen your posts. I don't think at all that you're too much. I mean, I see everyone shaking their head too. So I think if ever you felt like you were too much, I mean, like, I think somebody would probably at that point have told you, right? Like, girl.
Okay. Okay. And then my only other question is, it's been kind of in my mind, is I have and Nicole, I think, understands this too. We have the same group of people that we reach out to. And I'm worried that if I'm only posting on Facebook, that I'm only going to be reaching out to the same group. So how am I going to start getting my message to people who aren't just in my friend group, you know?
Yeah. So the first place to start, obviously, we call it your warm market. And because I've got less than a minute, so I'm going to try to say this really quickly. Okay, but we call it your warm market, which is your friends in your inner circle right now, right? Which is overlap. And so, you know, I've tried that line with her. In fact, I've had customers that I've given over to other coaches, you guys, because I know that they have a deeper relationship than me, and it's not about that, right? And so it's important that you're open and honest in that dialogue. Like if you're like, Nicole, I wanted to reach out to so-and-so. Have you been talking to them already? And just ask that, right? And then once you kind of feel like you're out of your warm market, that's where, you know, adding people to your friends all the time, going into groups on social media and meeting new people, meeting people in your own settings, like my church. Like no one here is going to know the people from my church, right? Or in things that are just you, reaching out through your family and all that. So, and Instagram is a great tool too.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, Brittany.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I want to take a quick pic before we run out of time. So everyone smile, fix your hair, you know, things like that. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, you are awesome. If you have more questions, seriously, bring them to the page, guys. All right, we would be more than happy to answer them. Have a fabulous night, guys.